Hi friends, Cynthia here. We're out on the Badlands track right now where I just took first in the women's category and 8th overall. And today I wanted to share with you 7 tips on how to get into bikepacking. And at the end, my friend Chris Hall and 3-time finisher of Badlands will share his top 3 mistakes on what to avoid when bikepacking. Tip number 1, and this might be the hardest, but it's actually just making the choice and deciding that you're gonna go out and bikepack for the first time. It's not easy to think about all of the gear and everything you need, but making the choice is the first step. Tip number 2, start with a route that you already know. When I went bikepacking for the first time, I went with a friend and we just rode our bikes to a little campsite that we pass by on a daily ride that we do, and it was wonderful. It was close, it was only 30 miles or 50K, and it was an easy place to go and bikepack for the first time. So start with something that you know and something achievable. Tip number 3, learn from others and ride in a group. Bikepacking is way more fun when you do it with other people. You can learn from videos online about things that you can carry or things to do better or ideas for your first trip. And if you're riding with a group, you can learn from them. If something arises like a mechanical or something that you need to fix, it's better when you have more than one person. Tip number 4, always be prepared for emergencies, especially if you're riding alone, using something like a Find My iPhone or a way that people and loved ones can track you. Or if you're riding with others, it's important to carry things like Band-Aids or emergency supplies in case something does arise and you need to fix something trailside, whether it's on your bike or on your body. A little handy tip, if you have a phone that allows you to set an emergency contact as an easy access, set it up so that if something does happen, you can utilize that, or somebody who arrives at the scene can utilize it. Also, they make bracelets out there that you can get your information put onto with your emergency contact. Tip number 5, choose the right bike. If you're into road riding, use a road bike. If you're into off-roading, use an off-road bike. Whatever works for you, make sure you select the right bike for the trail and track that you're choosing to ride. Start with the gear that you have. You don't need a bunch of fancy bikepacking gear to just get out there. If you can find some straps, you can put your sleeping bag on the back. If you find some waterproof bags, you can make your own bike bags out of it. If you have a backpack, like a hiking backpack or something with straps that's pretty easy and doesn't move a lot, use that. Use what you have at home, try it out and see if you like it first. Make sure you're using the right tire for the track that you're choosing to ride. I personally like the G1 RS tire. I use typically 40 in the front and 40 in the rear, and when I'm riding my bike or racing my bike with bikepacking, I do have to put a little bit more pressure in because I myself and the bike weigh more to prevent any sort of flats or punctures. And you can find out the prescribed pounds per square inch ratio on the Schwalbe website. They have that available, and if you look up your tire information, you can find it there. Tip number 6, pack light and efficient. Oftentimes when you first get into bikepacking, you're going to carry too many things. I have definitely been that person where I haven't used almost half of the items that I brought on a bikepacking trip, and that's okay. We live and we learn. When you go out for your first trip, think about what it is that you actually are going to use and go back and revisit your packing list once or twice. I typically make a packing list for when I do a trip, and usually when I'm with other people, we converse with each other on the packing list so that if we're both carrying a stove, maybe one person cannot carry a stove or something like that. So pack light, pack efficient, talk to your friends, and figure out what it is that you can do together to save weight and space. Tip number 7, and this is my favorite one, make memories. It's so cool. Bikepacking is awesome. You're getting to a place and you're sleeping there because you got there yourself. So take photos along the way, take videos, and remember these awesome moments that you get to experience, whether it's by yourself or with your friends. Hope these tips help you in your first bikepacking trip. If you have any additional questions, leave them in the comments below. I'm going to hand it off to my friend Chris Hall, who's got 3 mistakes to avoid when doing your first bikepacking trip. Adios.
Hi, my name is Chris Hall and I have completed Badlands 3 times now. Congratulations to Cynthia as well for winning and also for coming second last year. Absolute respect for her, smashed it. So here's 3 really common mistakes a lot of people make for their first bikepacking trip, and they're definitely ones I've made and I'm sure Cynthia has made as well at points in the past. Number 1, don't overestimate yourself. So don't go out there thinking you're going to win the first event you do, or you're going to crush the ride that you're going to do in a day, when realistically it could take 2 or 3 days. Allow yourself to enjoy it, experience it, see the countryside. The first one is always a massive learning curve. Number 2, a big mistake a lot of people make is they don't check the weather. Now, in Spain, generally it is pretty warm, but in certain places in Europe and America, it can be really unpredictable. So just make sure you check the weather before you ride and keep an eye on it realistically like a week in advance as well. That way you can adjust things like your clothing you're gonna take, tire choice, and maybe even take a mud guard. The third biggest mistake a lot of people make is sticking to a really strict plan. Bikepacking is all about problem solving. Imagine a puzzle, and sometimes the parts don't fit into that puzzle. Freestyle it, enjoy it. Don't force yourself to have such a regimented plan because things always change. Things don't go to plan, and that's part of the fun of it. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found some of these tips useful for your first trip. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and let us know what you think. To the pit.